Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Prospect Hut, and hopefully you like this video and you hit that subscribe button. I know I messed up the intro, but that's okay. This is all about pitching prospects, in particular the Mets pitching prospects, and we saw Nolan McLean pitch in the World Baseball Classic. He was okay. It is hard to ask a young player to up his game to a point where he's not really established himself in the major leagues. He's had 9 starts in the majors. He's not established himself. Sorry. I thought it was a very difficult position. I thought he pitched okay, considering the kind of pressures he was under in that game. World Baseball Classic is sort of Major League Baseball should take a long, hard look about how they're going about business, because you saw how exciting that game was for so many people that watched it. Real sense of urgency, a real sense of what was at stake. I would say this about Aaron Judge. Can't win. Guy cannot win. This is Mets pitching prospects, and these guys that are going to be the next group of pitchers that are going to make an impact with the Mets. We know that Nolan McLean is here. Brandon Sproat got traded in the offseason for Freddie Peralta. That happens with prospects. And, of course, Jonah Tong got sent back to the minor leagues last week. This is from MLB.com. Next flurry of Mets pitching prospects on the cusp of impactful leap. And the next group of guys are interesting guys, because a little more heralded when they signed them than say, Jonah Tong was, in particular, and Nolan McLean. Article goes, Nolan McLean started throwing more sinkers at the pro and developed into the top pitching prospect in baseball. Jonah Tong altered the Vulcan grip location of his changeup and won ML Minor League Baseball Pitching Prospect of the Year honors at 25. Brandon Sproat learned more on his own sinker in the majors and became a key part of an offseason blockbuster trade of the Brewers. That's for Freddie Peralta. The Mets have become one of the standard bearers for minor league pitching development across baseball because of their knowledge of their own pitchers, what pitch types can work for their bodies, release angles, and overall styles. The Mets have always been known as a organization that's had great pitching. And they've upped their game with the money that Steve Cohen has pumped into the system. I think you've seen a large number of really good starters that throw a 4-seam, a 2-seam, and a cutter, so 3 variations of a fastball, said Senior Vice President of Baseball Development and Player Development, Andy Green. You're also seeing a sweeper, a slider, and a curveball with some guys as well. There's a lot that have really done a nice job adding to the mix. The smarter the game gets, the better we are at discerning which guys can do which thing. While that trio of McLean, Tong, and Sproat made the majors in 2025, the next tier should be lying in wait just beneath them this summer. That's Jack Wenninger, number 7 on the Mets' top 30 list, Jonathan Santucci, number 10, Will Watson, number 11, and Zach Thornton, number 15. And there is a kid you need to keep an eye on, and they don't mention him here. Peter Cuso, who they drafted last season. He's 18, 19 years old. He is the next big pitcher in the Mets system. Probably better than them. And he's already top 30 right now. Wenninger is the most likely of the group to push for Queens in the first half of 2026. The 24-year-old right-handed ranked 3rd in Double-A with 142 strikeouts over 135 2/3 innings with Binghamton last season, on the strength of his 93 to 96 mile per hour fastball and his plus slider. Mets are hopeful that a mid-80s sweeping curveball folded in more late 25 could help unlock another gear in him. Now, the 135 innings is key. That means he can go up to about 150, 160 innings. So that means he could pitch in the major leagues this year. Elsewhere, Santucci, who had a 2.52 ERA of 10 Double-A starts in his first full season, continues to hone a changeup that would round out a Arsenal heavy on his fastball and slider. He's left-handed. He's one of these 2 lefties that the Mets have. He's a little behind because he didn't pitch much at Duke University that he played at. He was always hurt. So his experience might be a little behind some of these other kids that have been in college. Brandon Sproat, who the Mets traded this offseason, he had the most experience of any of the Mets minor leagues because he pitched 4 years there in Florida from his college. And, well, Watson, already equipped with the 4-seamer, sinker, cutter, slider, and changeup, has flirted with adding his own curve ahead of his age 23 season. So it comes to the caveat of that this is being worked on in spring training, and how each starter's pitch mix lands in season could still be different. Quote, I don't know that we ultimately see these types of pitches as necessary for them to be successful in the big leagues. It just makes it easier to be successful if you have more options. Green said, there's also the choice of, from a training economy perspective, how much time you can devote to these pitches. There are only so many bullets in the gun, so to speak, that you can fire every day. Our pitching group does a really nice job making a decision on what guys should be able to add, and we're largely successful. But sometimes you pull back from these and just let guys go with the strings they already have. And of course, they throw so hard. Of these four mentioned above, Weniger is the only one expected to open in AAA Syracuse this spring. However, injuries to Robert Stock, thoracic outlet syndrome, that means he's done for the season, and Justin Hagenman, rib fracture, have dented the organization's depth at the top of the minor leagues. Hagenman, the Mets had signed him to a 2-year deal last year. They were very high on him. He was not bad when he pitched a little bit with the Mets. So him getting hurt, especially a rib fracture, terrible. The Mets had a really good option there. So even Santucci, Watson, and Dorton, owner of the best control in the farm system, open in Binghamton, there could be opportunities for them to move up quickly if they replicate their results from a year ago. So that, and I would mention this: you can get pitching anywhere. Pitching can come from anywhere. The best example of a guy that seemed to kind of come from out of nowhere, and it's an old example, this is David Cone. David Cone came out of nowhere. Jacob deGrom came out of nowhere. There might be some middle reliever. You never know. It's happened before. Some guy that you thought would be a middle reliever becomes a star. Or some guy that's been in the bullpen becomes a star. You know. For all the pitch design work and spring preparation, the Mets pitching group, led by Vice President of Pitching Eric Jaggers, understands the upper minors come with their own challenges. They've climbed those mountains before with their top pitchers, and they've prepared, perhaps more than ever, to do it with the next group up. Nolan didn't exactly tear up Double-A in his first stint. Brandon kind of scuffled at the AAA level. Jonah breezed through every level, but at some point in time, you had some level of struggle. Just trying to make that serve our purpose, to make them more resilient, to realize that they come back from everything in their life to get to where they are right now. Now, Jonah Tong has gone back to the minor leagues, if you don't know. And I don't believe he's ready. So he'll be the first. I mean, if he pitches well, he'll be the first out of the gate before Weninger. But he's a guy that the Mets really, I've said this, he will be the guy that transforms this team if he pitches the way he has in the minor leagues. If he's pitched like that in the minor leagues when he gets here, the Mets are going to have it. They're going to be a tough team to deal with. That's for damn sure. The Mets are going to be a very difficult team and a force to be reckoned with if Tom comes back from the minor leagues and pitching well. But that is something down the line. There's no rush to bring him back to the minors unless there's some injury to Senga or Manaea or whoever. There's no rush. But losing Hagenman in particular hurts. Robert Stock not so much. He's been a journeyman. He's pitched all over the place. He's pitched in Asia. He's been all over the place. That's a different story. Hagenman hurts them a lot because they could have pitched him, but they could pitch Jonathan Pintaro. There's plenty of guys that they could bring in if they need it. But losing Hagenman hurts because they gave him a split contract last year, and he's on the 40-man roster too. So that one hurts. That one hurts more than Robert Stock does, by the way. But you let me know what you think about this video, and of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut, and I'll see you later.